Confidential. And we're going to have an abbreviated version tonight of America's Mayor Confidential because there is a very, very. I was going to be sarcastic, but we are going to feel extremely accomplished if we can find the debate. And we are going to perform a public service by telling you where it is, because this is interesting. They're hiding this debate for some reason, because this is going to be a debate just for people intelligent enough to be able to find it, because they want to see how the intelligent people are going to vote in this election. You have to demonstrate some ability here. You got to find a station that apparently nobody. I don't even know what this station is. They told me the name. What was the name of it? News Nation.
It's where like all the
do they broadcast with like smoke signals, or?
I think News Nation's where like all the reject major news people go. I think that's like where they go after they get
fun of Cuomo. We like Cuomo.
Chris Cuomo, he's on News Nation. So
I knew he had a new job. Is that what he's on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you told me Chris Cuomo, I mean, this is a credit to him.
I'm looking there.
If you told me Chris Cuomo's news station, I would have said, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that." But if you tell me News Nation, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So his new.
We may not get it.
No, but we've actually seen him. So we've had News Nation on.
There it is. Did you time me? How long did it take
I didn't see. Oh, there I see Republican.
How long did it take me? How long did it take me?
about 5 minutes.
No, about 3.
We gotta find out where that puts me.
Oh,
God.
God. Big boys talking right now.
Oh.
Hey, we do not refer.
No, I know. We don't call him that.
We don't call him fat.
You're absolutely right. We don't.
I said big. Certainly we don't call him a slob.
He's now pontificating. Bloviating might be the. Chris Christie is now bloviating.
Yeah, that's a good word for him.
He was screaming bloody murder before I got back.
Oh, he was?
Oh, boy.
Is he trying to pick on Vivek because he's bigger than him?
Oh, he was going on about how dare he demean Nikki Haley. She's a smart woman and this and that. Oh, you should have heard.
All you have to do is look at the history. And that's why failing to speak
I had to get out.
I don't know. He's bigger than Vivek, but Vivek looks like he's in really good shape and wiry.
So we're live.
Well, he just attacked Haley, and he also called her a guy.
Chris Christie misgendered Nikki Haley.
He did.
The audacity of him.
He's got the wrong gender.
Oh my Lord!
You can't have the wrong gender nowadays. Oh, Trump. I know he's talking about Trump now because he just said he doesn't care for them.
Look at the moves.
The crowd is booing him.
This is an anti-Trump.
This is a Republican debate. I don't recognize the woman. Who is she? Okay.
I actually don't want to say that because I don't know for sure. She might be a big liberal.
And DeSantis is looking overly like he's acting with the expression on his face.
The idea that we're going to put someone up there that's almost 80 and there's going to be no effects from that, we all know that that's not true.
Hey,
He is now arguing that Trump is too old.
I don't like that.
He does have the advantage. Of proving that he can do all the things you say you're going to do. He's actually done them.
What do you mean? There are plenty of
He doesn't think you should be 80 and president.
I know somebody who can be president.
So do you think, actually, Sleepy Boy, you think you got more energy than I do? I don't think he does. I campaigned with him. It looked to me like I exhausted him. I don't think in his best day he has the energy that I have.
I think he's also just not really smart.
No, he's smart. But he's boring. He's really boring.
What's a dumb comment? I'm saying that because we're with the mayor. That's a dumb comment.
Nation because I don't know News Nation. It may, in fact, be a very good channel. I just don't know. And I'm not saying it is a good channel or a bad channel. So I don't want to endorse it. And I sure don't want to attack it because I don't know it. And I certainly won't attack them for having this debate on. They're allowed to have this debate. They should have a debate. I just question whether it's a good use of my time watching it. Put it off. So Christie's in a courtroom now, which I don't think he ever was. I don't remember Christie. I don't remember the bully ever as U.S. attorney trying a case. We're going to go back and look and see. Oh, they're fighting. DeSantis and Christie are fighting now.
He's much bigger.
Yeah, why is that?
It's not fair. He's taken up twice the screen. And this is what I mean about talking over each other. Wait. I hear a woman's voice in there.
To be fair, that's just bad camera work.
Oh, it's Megan. That's Megan Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me just see who the other one is. I want to see who's doing this debate. I mean, that's big time. Megan's big time. I'm not exactly happy with her over the debate a couple of years ago, but it is a long time ago. And
She's been sounding very Trumpy these days. She's been liking him.
well, I mean, whatever you say about Megan, she's really one smart cookie. I don't think you're supposed to say that. I take it back.
Okay, I hear the question and I answer it. Is he fit or isn't he? I can see you are fit, Ron. You're a new generation. You're 44 years old. I wish I was still 44 years old. Okay?
45.
So, well, congratulations. I'd still take 45. Is he fit or is he? And this is the problem.
So we can put it off now of
They're afraid.
Mr. Pontificator, who's having a hard time fitting into his space. There is now telling us who is fit to be president, who isn't. Let's just put it off. Who really gives a damn who you think is fit to be president of the United States? Remember when you double-crossed McCain? Remember that? And you hugged the prince, the communist? Remember? You hugged the communist?
He's been dominating this debate, Christie.
Remember that? When you hugged him? Huh? I remember Christie, I think you were crying that night. When you gave the debate, you gave the keynote speech at the 2012 Republican convention. And the keynote speech didn't mention Romney for the first 18 minutes. It was just about where you were born in New Jersey, where you went to grammar school, what Boy Scout troop you were in, how many Boy Scout badges you got. But I mean, about 5 minutes into it, whoever was sitting next to me, who was a Romney guy in a part of his campaign, said, "Son of a," you know what he said, right? Son of a.
You gave that speech.
I said, and they're looking at me. You know, I said, I didn't pick him. You guys picked him.
That was your role in 2004, right? At the convention,
And in 8 too.
you were the keynote for both 4 and 8.
Yeah. And I introduced the now famous presidential candidate. That wonderful. I love her. Oh, come on.
Oh, the vice presidential candidate.
Vice presidential
In
candidate.
2008. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah Palin,
I love Sarah
who
Palin.
herself was a mayor, I believe.
Dating one of my favorite retired hockey players, Ron Duguay.
I did not know
Oh,
that.
I like Ron Duguay too.
Heard
Oh,
Ron
she
Duguay?
divorced the.
Yeah,
He must have
Western guy?
he must
She's
have played
been
for the
divorced
Rangers
for
or
a
Islanders.
while.
They're
I remember.
You all
I
know
don't
him.
remember
You
if
all
I
know
took her to a Yankee game when she was the candidate or after. But and you know, it's New York. It's not a Republican town, so you'd think she'd get booed. And she wore a normal. She didn't wear anything particularly risque or anything. But she comes down, and all the guys are yelling and screaming.
She's hot.
And they tried to be a little more restrained than usual because she was the vice presidential candidate or former vice. But you could hear a couple of the whistles, and
Sarah
but
Palin.
man, they were going wild over her.
Sarah Palin, if you're listening, you're hot. I just want to let you know.
I got to tell you, it was quite a thing. That was my seat then. I used to sit there, and I knew all the guys around there. And afterwards, I said that really wasn't very respectful. They said it seemed to me she liked it. I said,
mean-
well, how do you know she liked it? And plus, I
Running
think
for
she can do a
office.
lot better than you bums.
Yeah, that,
The
that's
Yankee
exactly right.
bums, you know.
And look,
but I
she's
used to
running
hang
for
around.
office, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta get ready.
I think it
you're
was
gonna hear
after-
from the people quite a bit.
So any calls left over?
No.
So people, yeah. Well, we had some comments again. If we have a little bit more time now to delve into.
We got a comment or two.
Yeah, just to talk about just the sort of people that that are hopefully a part of the 47th president's administration and the type of people necessary to really kind of correct a lot of the wrongs in this country that it's been happening for decades, right, Mayor? So like
Well-
what can be done in 4 years? The
Rance
president's going to have
Priebus
4 years.
urged Trump to drop out over access to Hollywood tape.
That was
Yeah,
in
Rudy
2016. You were
Giuliani
there.
remembers that really well.
Let's talk about that.
I was there, and I basically told him that there was a good place for him to go. It's below the earth, it has a lot of fire,
And thank goodness.
and I never
Oh my
understood.
gosh.
I never understood. I would, and if I would been elected president, ain't no way he'd be my chief of staff. I'd never trust him again.
Well, right. If somebody that tells you to
You get to
drop out,
quit, you get to quit on me once.
yeah.
Oh, Mayor, I have an interesting comment here.
One
A
time.
lot of people are saying they're hearing rumors that Trump would run with Ben Carson. What do you think about that?
I love Ben Carson.
Do you think
Could I there's a point at which in 12 where I really thought seriously about, even though he didn't have the typical background, that he might be a good president. I really like Ben a lot. I mean, Ben is first of all, he's brilliant. He's extraordinarily patriotic.
Very smart.
Detroit man, Michigan.
I'd be happy with Ben.
a lot of your viewers agreed they love Ben Carson? They agree
Well,
with
that's
you.
good. They've loved the right man.
Yeah, they're very happy
He's
about
an
that.
he's an exceptionally talented, and beyond that, he's an exceptionally good man.
Good man.
He's a good person, deep, real.
Yeah.
I guess
So we make him in Michigan.
when you can do that kind of brain surgery on babies, which is you're working on an area about this big, and one little shaking of your hand, the person dies. You got to have nerves of steel, and you've got to have a hell of a brain to learn how to do it. But in any event, then we'll have a vice president who has Giuliani's special golf tees. We may set up a thing where you could get yourself Giuliani's special golf tees, if I could figure out where to get them again. I play with golf tees. I'm looking at a picture right now of President Trump. President Trump makes fun of them. And my son doesn't use them, which therefore should tell you professionals don't necessarily like them. But I like them. They're a plastic rather than wood. And they have a little rubber thing, and they're perfectly legal. They have a little rubber thing on that where you place the ball in the rubber thing. And they're a color, like they're red or green. And the thing about it that I like is you can always measure rather accurately how high you have the ball teed. Because with those wooden ones, you lose the ball in the grass a little. You think you teed it high, you teed it low. You think you teed it low, you teed it high. And, it makes even if you're an average golfer, where you tee the ball, in fact, if you're an average golfer, where you tee it may even be more important. So I like it. First of all, they're sturdier. They don't go popping out as much. But most importantly, you can see, I'm going to show you, I'll show you a little example. Right. So I'll know I have this much coming out of the ground. See the red here? Or I might have only this much coming out of the ground. So now if I want to hit the ball high, right, I generally tee it higher when I want to hit it high and not as far. So I'll tee it high knowing that, let's say it's a par 3 and I'm trying to get on the green and I want to fly it. So I'll have it up there. Now I got a nice big long 600-yard hole, a tremendous fairway. I got to hit a drive like pretending I'm my son. So then I would tee it a little lower because then I'll be thinking of hitting a line drive, because believe it or not, a line drive generally will go further than something way, way up in the air for somebody like me, unless you have that great swing that is powerful, but completely calibrated, and it'll do both. It'll fly. You like when you watch golf on television, you'll see the ball flies in the air and it ends up in the next state. I am not that kind of golfer. Trump and my son are.
Yeah, not a big golfer myself.
So we're going to sign off for the evening so that you can make a choice. You could watch the great Greg Kelly, whose commentary is about the best in the country. I do have a good friendship with him, and he comes on right before me on radio on WABCradio.com, and I do appear once or twice a week at the end of his show because I enjoy it so much, and he's gracious enough to ask me. But I think his commentary is, boy, he's got everybody. I also like Bob Schmidt, so I can't be, and of course my old friend Eric, and now I'm gonna have to mention everybody at Newsmax because I like them all. And I just agreed, and I just agreed tonight walking out of the station, and she's walking in to do the 5 o'clock show. I agreed to do Newsmax at 11 o'clock. Now
Saturday.
If you want to see me performing on television again, you come back here at 8 tomorrow night. But the other thing you can do is on Saturday at 11, you can go to the Rita Cosby show. And now you are listening to a real professional. I don't mean me, I mean her.
She's great.
Yeah.
We love Rita.
Yeah, you gotta line up your people that are your people as the election is coming. And we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna tell you, and you can take it for what it's worth, but just use it as a guide, who you can trust and who you can't trust. Okay.
What about Higbee? Carl Higbee.
Love him. Don't know him personally.
Mm-hmm.
This is an evaluation of watching a guy who at first I'd even know, and after a week or two, I said, "Boy, this guy really knows what he's talking about and does his work." Well,
one more. What about Salcido? Chris Salcido.
Salcido's a member of the club. He's a member of the Save the First Amendment Club, as is Greg. I mean, to be a member of the
whole lineup.
Save the First Amendment Club, I got to think a little because I haven't put the whole club together. It only exists in my memory.
Let's make that part of the show.
But I could,
That's a great idea.
They're the ones who tell the truth no matter what.
And we'll give out an award. We'll give out a short video.
I spoke to every
That's
one
a great
of the people
idea.
you just mentioned.
Share it on social media.
In a call, I know some said Rita I've spoken to.
Yeah.
Salcedo I spoke to when very early on in Newsmax when Salcedo was on the air.
Yeah.
He called in and he just called and he loved it.
It's great on ABC too. I have to mention Sid. I was on Tuesday morning with him. Sid, boy, you want somebody that
number one in radio. Number 2 in radio.
Passionate.
He's number 2 in radio.
He's number 2 in radio.
What are you talking about? His whole intro is 5 minutes of him saying he's number 1.
He's number 1.
I mean, come on.
He's number 1.
The great Rudy Giuliani.
We do very, very well, and we're ahead of Hannity by a good number, which I'm very happy with.
Different
but
time
we're not number 1 on our time. Oh, we are number 1 on our time slot, but he's number 1 on the station.
Right.
And he's got the largest audience on ABC, and he is really good.
Talented. And
so listen to him. So we'll be back tomorrow at 8, 3 on WABCradio.com. We got a little time before. Watch Greg Kelly, and now go watch Greg Kelly. And believe me, you're missing nothing. First of all, it's going to take you a half hour to find News Nation, and it'll be over by then. So go to Newsmax. You know exactly where it is. God bless you, and God bless America. God bless the people of Israel. God bless the people of the United States, and God bless America.
Yay.